Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit, and as you know, this is the Hero Vida V1. So, although there are two variants, Pro and Plus, today for this ride we were given the Pro, the higher spec version, and as you know, this is the first proper electric scooter by Hero under the brand name Vida. So, this of course is a big deal. Hero being not just India's largest two-wheeler manufacturer, but being world's largest two-wheeler manufacturer. So today I'm going to let you know everything that you have to know about it. And if you're in the market to buy an electric scooter and you're looking at this scooter with interest, I can tell you that you're going to know every single thing about this scooter. So stay hooked till the end, and I'm going to start off first with the design details, functionalities, and what I felt with the performance, and then later on I'll get on with the specs, and we'll also compare with all the scooters that are available in the market along with the price and the missing features. So stay tuned till the end and let's get started now. Now, to have a cursory look at the scooter lets you know that the design is a mishmash of curves and angles, and to me personally it will take some time before it grows onto me, and there are many colors, but to me personally it probably could have been a little bit more organic. A few interesting details: 90 section tire, up front 12-inch wheels, 220 front discs, twin shocks, and here as you see these lights are quite special. And for those of you who are confusing it with the BMW motorcycles, well, what Hero has to say is this is like these two palms, and the headlight here is like a globe. So basically what Hero has tried to portray is that they are caring for the world. These are LED projector lights, twin units, and these are low beam, and then you have these four lights which are the high beam. Of course these are the DRLs. You have this flared area right here, and then you have the contrasting apron here, this extended area. Overall it looks nice, but as I mentioned, it will take a little bit of time for it to grow on me. The top doesn't have the headlight. Headlight of course is here, and this to me looks like the character from the movie Chappie. You have these LED indicators here. The ORVMs are also quite nice and wide, and they are two-tone with glossy black and matte finish. They look rather nice to me. Coming towards the side, as you can see, there is this rather tapering design to the side panel with a contrasting black at the rear. The seat is a two-piece, but still it's a single piece because it doesn't come out in two pieces. There is this flexible unit which connects the two. There is ample space for your feet here. Even the tall people won't have much of a problem. The ground clearance is 155 so that's pretty good, and the seat height here is about 780 and for me, being 5 feet 10 inch, I think this is pretty comfortable. The seat is very nicely done. I rode it at high speeds, braked, and I was not sliding forward, so that's a good thing. My photographer was sitting as a pillion for a very long time, and I really think that the seat part of the business has been taken care of rather well. It's better than a few other seats that we've seen in the market, especially if you compare it with the Ather 450X. This seat is a lot better. The ergonomics are spot on, and as you can see, being 5 feet 10, I have a very sharp bend in my knees, and I can put the heels down. So for the shorter ones amongst you also, this ride height should be just about ideal, so you don't have to bother about that. You have side stand, motor inhibitor for the side stand, as well as a main stand as well. Now this is an electric scooter, so I don't expect that you will be hurling it around corners, but when I did, sometimes the main stand was scraping against the tire, but that's not a worry because if it's scraping so gently here, it won't cause any problem for you. Talking still about the design, at the rear you have a 100 section tire, 12-inch wheels, rear drums. Up front you have a disc. You have these grab rails which make it easy for you to grab it and to move it around, and just like the front you also have these lights here which form two palms and maybe a globe. The LED indicators are there at the rear as well, and a reflector. Overall, if you go to see, the design here is quite functional and it looks trendy, but as I mentioned, it probably will not be to the taste of everyone. Now the foot pegs are done rather well and the quality is pretty good. In case you're wondering what is this is nothing. This is just the chassis number protruding out from this little slot. Overall, what you think about this design, the two-tone wheels, the contrasting colors on the body? Do let me know your opinions because we would really be interested in knowing your comments about this new scooter's design. let's come to some more functional bits now, and let's start off with the switch gear and the instrument console. Now looking at the switch gear, as you can see here, there is a multitude of buttons, and as I mentioned, the reach to both the grips is pretty easy. Let's go through all the switches one by one, and before we do that, let's first have a look at this key. And you have these 3 buttons here and Vida branding. Now this is a remote key, and it has to be at about 1.5 meters from the scooters for it to be functional. You don't have to insert it anywhere. It's remotely controlled, and here you can use this key to find the scooter. So if the scooter is locked, when you press this, there will be 2 beeps and the blinkers will light up, so you know where your scooter is parked in the parking lot. This button here is to remotely open the seat, and this way you can open this seat. And since we are on the subject, let's have a look at the space underneath as well. And you have 26 liters of boot space here, where you can easily fit a full face helmet, so that's a very capacious boot. Plus you have some more storage here, which in my opinion is about 8 to 10 liters. So in all you have a very good storage space of about 36 liters. So you really can use it very practically. Now one very good thing about this scooter is, unlike some other scooters in the market, it comes with removable batteries which can be taken to your house and you can charge this scooter. So we are going to talk about that as well in a bit, but let's get back to the switch gear at this point in time. And here you have the high beam, low beam and the pass switch, and once you turn on the screen, you'll see this reasonably high res screen which is touch sensitive, and there's a ton of data here. It comes with all the connected features. It connects with your phone using Wi-Fi. It also comes with a lot of features including geofencing, your vehicle stats and service updates, etc. So all of that has been included here. But right now you probably want to know as to how all of this functions, and here you can navigate through various different screens. So as you can see, you have the trip, average speed and odo, you have the trip B. So this button here is to navigate through all the various different screens, and as you can see here, you have the day, date and the odo reading. Then you have trip A, trip B. It also shows you the range. Right now the motor is off. It also shows you the battery charge, and you can slide it down to turn the motor on, and you can use this button to open the seat. Now the seat can be opened using this or using the app. So all of these things are there to open the seat, and under the floorboard also you have a physical button. So you have 4 different ways to open the seat. Now you have various different modes also. You have the eco mode, and to go through the modes we'll have to turn the motor on, and for that you have to press the brake and then press this button here, and now as you will see, the motor will turn on. So the motor is on now, and now you can choose the mode. So you have the eco mode, the ride mode and the sport mode, and you also have the custom mode. Now what is the difference? Obviously the discharge rate of the battery is different for different modes, and there is a difference in acceleration. So the eco mode has the least acceleration, and the top speed there is 50 kilometers per hour. In the ride mode you have 65 kilometers per hour of top speed and slightly better acceleration, and in the sport mode you have 80 kilometers per hour of top speed and the best acceleration. Apart from that, even if you are in eco mode, the good thing is that when you throttle it out, when you go full throttle, the scooter will go into sport mode for about 30 seconds and you will get full power, and it will stay like that for 30 seconds, and after that it will go back in the mode that it was originally in. So that's a very good feature. Even if you are in eco mode and you want instant boost, you can just throttle it out and the scooter will simply give you the best acceleration. Another great thing about this scooter is that when you use the throttle in reverse position, like if you're accelerating and then you go back, it increases regen braking, and that works as braking itself, so you don't really have to brake, and the battery recharges a little bit quickly. So all of those things are there. And now you also have a hazard switch here, you have turn indicators and a cancel button. This is the horn, and you can choose your mode using this button. Engine kill switch. You also have this SOS button, for which you have to flip it open, this safety button. You have to flip open this safety flap to use it, and when you buy your scooter you can specify an emergency number, and that number along with the emergency services will be dialed. Now another great thing with the scooter is cruise control, and these are the buttons. So you engage cruise control using this button here, and then whichever speed you want to engage it at, you just take it to that speed and then set it, and then the scooter will keep cruising at that speed. And if you want to increase the speed, you can just increase the speed using this or decrease it using this. So that way you can use cruise control as well, and when you go reverse throttle, the cruise control will be disengaged. Now you also have this engine kill here. As you can see, kill switch, it doesn't have an engine but it is a kill switch anyway. And you also have this park mode, and for that you have to press the brake and then press park. Now it's in park mode and it will move at about 3 kilometers per hour in forward and backward motion. So you have to go reverse throttle to go back, and like this to go forward, and it will move at 3 kilometers per hour. So that again is a great feature this scooter has. Now to exit the park mode, you have to press the brake and press park again, and now we have come out of the park mode. And you obviously can touch and see all the settings, etc. So you have various different colors and connect features, your battery status, you can upload your documents, and then the about info. So that's how you use this instrument console, and it's pretty responsive to the touch, is very easy to use, and there are no complaints there whatsoever. Now coming here, you have this button here which can turn off the screen, and this essentially is used to turn the system on or off. So right now it's turned on, and you press that button again and it will be turned off. This button here again is for the seat. As I mentioned, you have a USB socket which comes as standard right here. Now if you're wondering about the fit and finish of these panels here, it's not very good at this point in time. Even the switch gear at some parts is not looking very good, but from what I understand, these are prototypes, and as I talked with the technical team, this is going to improve over a period of time. So the final product, the production version, will be a little better than this. Now the mirrors are quite wide and they are easy to use, easy to adjust, and I quite like them. Could have been a little bit more wider, but I'm not complaining. These are quite functional. As I mentioned, the seats are very well done. I won't say these are the best seats in the business, but they are pretty good. They are a lot better than a few other scooters that we have seen. The under storage is pretty good. Now about the charging socket is here, where you can use the fast chargers at the Hero dealerships. With the fast charging, it will charge at the speed of 1.2 kilometers per minute. So with every minute of charge, you will get 1.2 kilometers on the range. If you're charging it at home, you'll have to use this little socket here. So you can park it in your parking, and the charger is provided, and you can use this for charging. It takes 5 hours 15 minutes for the Plus variant and 5 hours 55 minutes on the Pro variant for it to charge completely, and that's the time for 0 to 80% charge, not 100%. Now you have removable batteries, which is a USP of this scooter, and you also can charge it by removing the batteries and taking them to your house. And you can open the flap of this compartment, and as you can see, there are 2 battery units, and you can carry them to the comfort of your home and charge them if you don't have a socket in the parking. So for a lot of you, this would come across as a USP. And the good thing about these batteries is, although the cells are not manufactured by any manufacturer in India, so the cells are imported by everyone, but the assembly and manufacture of these battery cases is done completely indigenously by Hero MotoCorp here in their Chittoor factory. So that again is something for which they deserve some credit. These batteries have been tested for puncture resistance, nail test for heat, and for water entry as well. The motor is IP68 protected, so you can wade through water, and these batteries are also waterproof. So you don't really need to worry about high temperatures or putting your scooter in rain with the Hero Vida V1. That's how you can reinsert the battery, and it just fits beautifully well, and it's very easy to remove the battery and put it back. Now about the main stand, it's damn easy to put on because it's levered, and even the lighter ones amongst you won't find it difficult to put back on the main stand. And as you can see here, the motor is connected through the hub via a transmission. So this is not a mid motored engine like the Ather. It's not hub mounted like the TVS. There's a transmission and it works rather well, and this has been done really well. This is a PSM motor, so this is an AC motor which is more advanced, more silent, and has a more instantaneous discharge, better torque. So there are a lot of advantages as compared to the other motor, the DC motor. So the AC motor here is the more advanced, more expensive, and a better unit than on some other scooters. So that again is an advantage that the Vida V1 Pro has. There is a monoshock suspension at the rear. This is not adjustable, but it does its duty well. And now I'll come to the performance. Now when we came here for the launch, we were not able to ride this motorcycle because it was raining, and today in dry conditions I was able to push it to the limits, and I'm very happy to tell you that the performance of this scooter is at par with the best in business. The acceleration is instantaneous, the throttle response is fantastic, and up to the speeds of 70 kilometers per hour, the acceleration is pretty brisk. After 70 kilometers per hour, the acceleration reduces a little bit, but it doesn't struggle to reach its top speed of 80 kilometers per hour. On the speedo, it will show you a little higher speed. Today we had some headwind coming in, and with my heavy frame, it showed me a top speed of 83 kilometers per hour here. But for all practical purposes, the scooter accelerates very well and reaches its top speed rather well. Also, I tested it in the eco and ride modes, and the speed specified for those modes also is true. And the good part is that the handling is also very dependable. The braking is good. I did a braking test of 80 kilometers per hour to 0, and it came to a stop without any drama. And as you can see here on the screen, it happened in a straight line, and I really like the way the scooter brakes. The handling also is something that needs a mention, and on the handling track of the CIT, I tried to lean it down around corners pretty aggressively, and the only thing that I can probably complain about is the main stand scraping just a little bit when I leaned it aggressively, but I think you won't be able to lean it that hard in real world driving conditions. So for all practical purposes, the handling is very dependable. The braking is great. The tires do their job pretty well, at least in the dry conditions. I really think that for all practical purposes, the tires are also pretty good. Now, the one thing that I really want to make a mention of is the suspension. Generally, a couple of other scooters that I've ridden, the electric ones particularly, the Ather 450X has a very stiff suspension, but on this one, it has been tuned rather well, and on speed breakers and on undulations, it handled the surface rather well. We don't have any potholes here, but if I have to go by my experience as a journalist, I think that the suspension is beautifully set up. The pillion seat is also beautifully set up, and my videographer friend did not have any problems whatsoever. He was pretty happy sitting there, and if you're looking for comfort, this scooter is not going to disappoint you at all. The V1 Plus comes with a battery capacity of 3.44 kilowatt hours. Now in terms of power output also, the V1 Pro is fantastic. 6 kilowatts of power, which is the peak number, and the continuous power of 3.9 kilowatt is also pretty good. And if you look at the numbers, only the Ather 450X has a slightly higher peak power at 6.2 kilowatt, but a lesser continuous power at 3.3 kilowatt. The S1 Pro again here has 8.5 kilowatts of power and 5.5 kilowatts of continuous power, which is more than the numbers the V1 Pro has. The top speed is also pretty good, and at 80 kilometers per hour, it's lesser than only the S1 Pro. The range is very good, and at 165 kilometers of rated range, it is one of the highest. In fact, only the S1 Pro has a higher range than this. Even the V1 Plus has a very good range of 143 kilometers. The Ather 450X has only 146, and the iQube S also has 145. So V1 Pro is really one of the longest range scooters you have out there. Now looking at the price, the V1 Pro is priced at 1.59 lakh rupees, and this is after the subsidies. And if you compare it with the other scooters in the segment, the S1 Pro is 1.52 lakh rupees. The iQube S is the most value for money scooter in my opinion at 1.26 lakh rupees, and the Ather 450X is 1.56 lakh rupees. The Chetak is also quite expensive for the specs at 1.47 lakh rupees. And if you look at all of these scooters, the S1 Pro has the best specs, but I think the quality is suspect and there are a lot of problems with the scooter. So that is something that you really have to take into consideration. The iQube S comes across as a genuine well-built scooter which has a very good range and very good price. The Ather 450X is fast, it's trendy, but it's not as practical. And the Chetak, while it's a good looking scooter, but the specs aren't as good as the V1 Pro. So if you look at all the specs, I think the V1 Pro comes across as a very well spec scooter, and the price of 1.59 lakh rupees can somewhat be justified, but again, we expect Hero products to be more VFM. The scooter will also come with an extensive app offering you geofencing and all the other features that you require from a modern connected scooter. You have 4 modes: Eco, Ride, Sport and Custom. To start off, it will be available in Delhi, Jaipur and Bengaluru and will be added to other cities at a later point in time. Booking amount is 2499. If you talk about the colors, the V1 Plus comes in matte white, matte sports red, gloss black, and the Pro comes with an additional color that's matte Abrax orange. The scooter will also come with a limp home feature that allows the rider to ride at 10 km per hour for 8 km after the charge drops below a certain point. Hero is also offering easy finance at about 1.5 to 2% less rate of interest than market. And another fantastic feature that the Vida V1 comes with is the Hero's buyback scheme, where you are assured 70% of the vehicle's price between 16 and 18 months of ownership. Another industry first is a 3-day test ride. Yes, you heard it right, a 3-day test ride where you can take the scooter home and test it, and that's, as I mentioned, an industry first and would give the customers a fantastic experience with the scooter before they buy it. The vehicle will not only be picked and dropped for service but can also be repaired on site, and needless to say, Hero will utilize its widespread network to set up its charging infra as well. Now let's talk about some specific features on the scooter, the warranty and its comparison with whatever is available in the market and where it stands vis-a-vis its competitors. Now looking at the specs, the V1 Pro stacks up rather well against its competitors, and at 3.94 kilowatt hours its battery is pretty good. Only the Ola S1 Pro has slightly better battery at 4 kilowatt hour. To put things in perspective, Ather 450X has 3.7 kilowatt hour and the Chetak has 3 kilowatt hour, and the iQube S has a little over 3 kilowatt hours. The V1 Pro does its 0 to 40 in 3.2, the V1 Plus does that in 3.4 seconds, and that also is a pretty good time, as the Ather 450X also takes more time at 3.3 seconds. Only the S1 Pro does its 0 to 40 in 2.9 seconds. Now the Vida V1 Pro and Plus do most things right. The range is good, the performance is great, the ergonomics are great, the practicality is good. It comes with all the connected features, and for someone who's looking for a reliable brand which has been around for a very long time, the Vida comes across as a brand which has been created by Hero, so all the testing has been done properly, and the focus on testing and quality also shines through when they say that they don't want to be the first, but they wanted to create a proper scooter. Putting all of those things in perspective, the pricing of this scooter at 1,59,000 rupees for the Pro variant seems slightly high for me, especially looking at the fact that the Hero has always been at the value end of things, and since they have also invested in Ather, which is producing some really kick-ass scooters, I really believe that they probably could have focused a little bit more on the value side. So while the price, when you compare it with the other products in the market, looks at par, save for the TVS iQube S, which is priced more aggressively. This scooter stands at par with some other scooters, including the Ather 450X, which is slightly more expensive, but the features and everything else here is good. But I would have wanted Hero to have priced it a little bit more aggressively for people who have always associated Hero with value and VFM, to have a scooter option from their stable at a slightly lower price. But as things stand, at 1,59,000 rupees post subsidy, this scooter does come across as slightly expensive to me, and price is probably the only thing where I can fault this scooter at. But for everything else, I really think that Hero have done a stellar job. It comes loaded with features, is very practical, has a range and performance which is at par with the best. And if you are going to be buying a scooter in this segment, you probably cannot make a decision without having test ridden this one. from a technical standpoint, from a ride handling, quality standpoint, I really think that Hero have done a fantastic job, and this scooter gets a big thumbs up from me. I really hope that this video gave you all the insights into this new scooter, which is very important for our market. Still, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll be very happy to answer all your questions personally. And until next time, this is Amit Chhangani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.